Welcome to the Virtual Strategic Solutions Virtual Reality Simulation System. Accessing Legacy Dataset. Files loaded. Simulation ready. According to Obadiah Blackhall, the mansion has been in his family for generations, dating back to long before the Great War, and is a fine example of Victorian architecture. He intends to keep this tradition alive, staying in the estate until he dies, or the swamp folk get him. Enter Blackhall Manor, where Obadiah will speak of a book that has been stolen from him and taken to the east at the ritual site. Upon leaving Obadiah's home, the player character is met by Marcella, a missionary spreading her faith across the wastes. She claims that Obadiah actually wants the book for more than just keepsakes, and plans to use it for a ritual to control the swamp folk, and under no circumstances should it be returned to him. She requests that upon finding the book, it should be given to her instead at the disaster relief outpost in the western half of Point Lookout. However, to make either decision, the Krivbekni must first be found. Head to the ritual site and look out for the swamp folk guarding the entrance to the area. Look for a small door in the ground amongst the charred remains of a building and head in. Navigate through the chambers to the bottom of the ritual area, where a mutilated body with a ritual knife thrust into its head, lying on top of a large table, can be seen. Directly behind the table is a pedestal with the book inside. Upon taking the book, swamp folk reinforcements will begin to pour into the area, furious with the attempted theft. It is likely to be ambushed by additional swamp folk upon leaving the basement. Once out and the area is clear, either return the book to Obadiah or bring it to Marcella. If taking it to Marcella at the disaster relief outpost, the player character will discover that she was killed in her tent and may be ambushed by at least one smuggler. Obadiah apparently hired smugglers to kill her. If he is questioned about this, in one conversation path he denies it, and in the other he apologizes for his indiscretion. In addition, "Die Thief" is written in blood on the side of the tent, hinting that she was believed to have the book. There is a holotape in the same tent as Marcella. Upon listening to it, she begs the player character to destroy the Krivbekni. If wishing to do so, the player character must venture to the virulent underchambers in the Dunwich building, back in the capital wasteland. Access the part where there are metallic corridors near the end of the underchambers, and then ignore the exit stairs. Enter the lowest level into the tunnels beneath, where Jamie can be found, if not previously killed, worshipping the obelisk. After finding the obelisk in the Dunwich building, activate it and the book will ignite in flames, and also incinerate the nearby feral ghouls. If deciding to take the book to Obadiah, he'll reward the player character with 1,000 caps. Nothing else changes. He will still go to the basement and pray, whether or not the book has been destroyed. Obadiah is the last descendant of the Blackhalls, a both famous and infamous family of wealth inextricably tied to the history of Point Lookout. Obadiah is a stubborn curmudgeon and still entranced by an old tome his family once lost decades ago, the Krivbekni. The Blackhall family was deeply involved in the commercialization of Point Lookout in the early 21st century. Constance Blackhall, head of the estate after the new plague made her an unexpected widow in 2058, cooperated with entrepreneurs from the Isla Negra Realty Company, who had been trying to acquire family real estate unsuccessfully for years. Despite overwhelming local cultural resistance, Isla Negra persistently attempted to bring tourism and modernization to Point Lookout and St. Mary's County. When Obadiah first meets the lone wanderer, he is polite and asks the player to sit down and chat. Obadiah sits in a wheelchair next to a pair of oxygen canisters and crutches, signaling that he is disabled. His family was one of the first to settle in Point Lookout, starting with Constance Blackhall, his great-great-great-grandmother. He currently resides in Blackhall Manor to keep his family's legacy safe. He despises other inhabitants of Point Lookout to varying degrees, either because he considers them uncivilized or simply unintelligent, and possibly because of the theft of the Krivbekni. However, it seems he is aware of their belief of the powers of the book as well, and wants the power all to himself. Simulation completed. Please exit the pod or have a technician select another file.